This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com. Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is 12/2/2020, and this is show number 168. Well, Nick, the markets, they never cease to amaze, and, well, we're stalling out a little bit today after yesterday, huh?
Yeah, yesterday you had a pretty good rally overall, and today we're stalling out a little bit, and that's common. That's not unusual. One thing that I think that is positive today is the financial stocks continue to act pretty well. So if the financial stocks get a bid and energy stocks are acting well, that's usually a good 1-2 punch for potentially more upside in the market. So I would just say today is a little bit of a stall out and just some backing and filling, and there's nothing wrong when markets do that.
Yeah. So let's talk about the change of leadership in the market, because it's kind of started, a few months ago with the Russell 2000 kind of seeming to rally out of nowhere. Why is that so significant?
Well, I think there's a couple of things going on. Well, first of all, it's significant because the Russell represents small cap businesses and companies in the United States. So the small caps have been a laggard, believe it or not, since 2018. But the Russell just surpassed its 2018 top. So that's a very big positive. And you always want to see small cap companies show leadership, because when people invest in small cap companies, what they're actually doing is they're taking on real risk. Unlike when they invest in stocks in the Dow Jones, they're really parking money there, hoping for growth maybe, but they're looking to collect a dividend down the road. So the Russell 2000 stocks, they don't pay dividends. They're just simply growth companies. So it's very, very promising in the near term to see the Russell 2000 break out to new all-time highs.
All right. And then we were also seeing this change in leadership where the financials, and it's all counterintuitive, come to the conclusion that every rally that happens in the market now is counterintuitive. But we're seeing financials break out, and we're seeing energy break out, 2 sectors that were given up for dead.
Yeah, and I gave up on energy completely. I said, and I still haven't participated in the energy rally. And I'll tell you what, they've actually surprised me. Even with the election here, it's still undecided, still no official winner. It really is surprising to see energy act as well as it has. And that's a big positive, because remember, these energy companies are highly leveraged to the banks, and the banks and energy are both getting a bid right now. Tells you things are getting a little better in that front. Don't forget also, we have a vaccine now. Airlines are probably going to start to get more business. With airlines getting more business, these guys are going to need to make some fuel that they haven't been making. So we have some jet fuel potential. And these are all positives. And if you get the travel industry going, people are going to drive more. They're going to use more fuel as well. So I think that's what the market is telling us. It's always telling us something.
Yeah, it's always telling us something. And interestingly, we expected all this to happen a lot earlier, but I think perhaps we underestimated the psychological damage of the pandemic. The fact that basically half the country is afraid to walk out the door because they might get something. And in reality, they're better off going outside than staying locked up inside, because there's much less incidence of outdoor transmission. But that's a story for another day. The point is the psychological damage. When I go down to Miami, there's a place, Joe's Stone Crab. I think it's the most profitable restaurant in the country. And you used to go there, you'd wait 2 hours if you got there at 6 o'clock. I got there at 6 o'clock and half the restaurant was 2/3 empty. I couldn't believe it, Nick.
Yeah, you got lucky. Enjoy those restaurants right now, because I do think if things do open up, you're not going to be able to get back in that place. But yeah, you see the fear all over the place. And then you get, the lockdowns that are taking place in New York and Illinois and California once again. I mean, it's like we have not learned anything from what happened in February and March. We just continue to follow the same protocol. It's beyond me. But that's what we're dealing with at this stage of the game. politically speaking.
Hey, and uh, let's not forget once everything opens again, which it eventually will, there's going to be so much less competition in New York. They're saying in New Jersey, 30% or a third of small businesses have closed for good, and a lot of them are restaurants. So the ones that have managed to white knuckle it through this event, through this pandemic, are going to be printing money like you can't believe, and we already see it with the big big tech, Amazon, all these companies, big retail, Target,
Yeah,
Walmart,
Walmart. Yeah, sure.
Costco, record profits.
Yeah, I mean, it really was unfair what happened. I mean, you really closed down mom and pop and you opened up the big wolf. I mean, these guys just gobbled up all the profits. I mean, it really is incredible when you think about it. But it was allowed to happen, and that's really even more disturbing. And again, people have to start waking up a little bit, start seeing what's going on out there. But again, small business has always been the heart and soul of the United States. So we'll see how this all plays out, but it's good to see the Russell 2000 acting well.
Hey, so what about the employment numbers today?
Yeah, so today we got the ADP job report. Came in at positive 307,000. So that was good to see. This Friday we're going to get the BLS numbers, Bureau of Labor Statistics from the government, and we'll see what their numbers say. Could be a pretty important job report, just simply for the fact that we are going into the end of year. Usually that's going to be a good report, simply because people do more hiring for Christmas and the holidays. I don't know if that's going to be so much the case this year. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out on Friday. But the ADP job report, I think, was expected to be a little bit better. It was a little bit on the softer side today. I think they were looking for 360,000 new jobs, but it's good to see small business added 110,000. Medium businesses added 139,000. Large businesses were up 58,000. The service sector added 276,000 jobs, and the goods producers 31,000. So I mean, it's just a positive that we got above 300,000. I think.
Hey, so about that Christmas hiring binge, someplace I saw they're expecting retail sales, brick and mortar sales, to be down like nearly half from what they were last year.
I think that's going to be true. I think they can be down nearly half, and it's understandable. I mean, look what's going on around us, right? With the virus, and everybody's afraid of everything, and people now, at one point I saw people starting to take off their masks, and now they're double layering. So there's a lot going on there. I think brick and mortar is going to be down, but got to remember it's all about expectations, and as long as the market didn't think that they're going to do too good, or have too much of a robust Christmas season, maybe those expectations are lowered so much that the market will actually act positive. I will say this: a lot of the retail stocks that I follow have been doing much, much better. Nordstrom, that's up 91 cents today. Dillard's up $2 today. These stocks have been acting well, and then Macy's, back above $10. I mean, this was a stock that 2 months ago was under $6. So they've actually come back pretty nicely.
Yeah, well, hey, as much as I love shopping online, and I buy a lot more online than I ever did. There's still times where I want to go to the retail outlet, the actual brick and mortar store, and check things out. And I still buy my food in these places. So perhaps there is a floor on how much retail really can go down. But man, these malls are just dying in the wind.
Yeah, the mall traffic has definitely declined. I will say though this much: I've tried. I don't really go shopping much. My wife does that, but I drive by the mall where I live, and I'll say it's been pretty crowded. The lots have been pretty filled up over the last couple of weeks, so that's a little bit of a positive. But Florida's a different scenario than a lot of other places around the country.
Yeah, Florida's been growing throughout this as people flee high tax jurisdictions. And you just have to look. I'm curious to see what the economic numbers will be for the year for states with income tax and states without. Because we know over the past decade, states without income tax have greatly exceeded, their growth rates have greatly exceeded those with high tax and income tax. there are some low income tax states like North Carolina, South Carolina, relatively speaking, and then you got California, Illinois, and New Jersey and New York, which are backbreakers. So it's going to be interesting to see. Hey, what about gold and silver? They had a monster rally yesterday. Now it looks like they're digesting a little bit.
Yeah, well, gold's actually positive today. GLD is up $1.11. Gold futures, as we speak, are up about $9.20. So that's a decent little move. Gold was very, very oversold, and I talked about that yesterday. It would do for a short-term bounce. And I think right now you're getting a little bit of follow-through. So that's holding up well. Silver, on the other hand, is digesting yesterday's monster jump. So that's common to see. Silver today more on the flattish side. Looks like silver futures down about 9 cents right now. So we wouldn't make too much out of it. But yeah, gold's holding up pretty well today.
All right. So gold is holding up well. And so you think that this is just a short-term rally, one more stumble, and then ahead, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now. I think all the precious metals, even the gold miners, were very, very oversold. I mean, that was a pretty sharp sell-off. Now they're rebounding a little bit. I didn't see anything to tell me that was a definitive low yet, but I'm keeping my eyes peeled for the chart pattern. So once it tells me, I'll let everybody know.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that. Anyways, go over there to Nick's site, inthemoneystocks.com, and take a look at everything that's there, along with his extensive trading record. And while you're at it, take a look at the Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago01, at Kerry Lutz. Send us your emails, kl@kerrylutz.com. And Nick, we will pick up tomorrow.
Sounds good.
And so concludes another episode of Daily Market Wisdom with Master Trader Nick Santiago. Be sure to go to his website, inthemoneystocks.com. Don't forget the Twitter feeds at ITMS and at Nick Santiago01.